Classes in session, this is the show where knowledge is profit, just so you know. Army Piper, OC Guy, and TradeFly, bringing crypto news to the whole alumni. It's the word on the market, the one-stop shop for the info you'll need every time that it drops. The go-to show that you need right now. This is Piper Academy, it's all going down, let's go.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Happy Monday and welcome to Piper Academy. We've got a great show lined up for you today. Fear and Greed coming in at 76, Bitcoin breaking $72,000, Ethereum pushing up towards the $3,700 range. And we're going to be taking a look at, is Bitcoin or MicroStrategy the better purchase? All for this year. All that and a whole lot more today on Piper Academy, guys. Classes in session. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Piper Academy. I am your host, Army Piper. We come at you every single Monday through Friday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, bringing you guys the news, the charts, and the markets, everything you need to have knowledge, because knowledge is profit. Welcome to the show, guys. OC is in the background trying to get in right now, but we're going to see if that happens. He's having some issues on his end, but I'm not alone. I do have at least one of my partners in crime. What is up, TradeFly? How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, man. It's a happy Monday, ready to get this week started, and Bitcoin is moving, so you know it's only a matter of time before the alts follow. So kind of getting excited, man. It looks like some trade opportunities are coming down the pipe, and yeah, man, it's just good to be here. So I'm ready to mix it up with you guys in the chat.
It's not just trade opportunities coming in right now, though. There's some trade opportunities coming in today. Isn't that correct?
I mean, there's trade opportunities every day, Piper. Every day.
No, I'm talking specifically about this, my man. This thing right here. There we go. Let me go ahead and move this to a 2-pack. But yeah, you want to talk about this? Because this thumbnail, I see a couple of recognizable people on there right now. So I'm just saying, let me fix my camera setup there. There we go. And then we bring in the right guy. I got to do this until I get OC here, you know? So there we go. Yeah, this is Trade Wars. You're on this today. That's your picture right there. We've also got, who's that guy right there? Who's that Mexican spaghetti guy right there? I believe that's TradeFly. And then look, we got Alex O on here. We got Jenna X. We got Crypto Blood. This guy down here, that is Wolf. Drew Wolfer, good friend of mine. I've met him several times in person. And then we've also got Mim. We got AJ Wrights. I'm not sure who this is, and I should probably, but I don't know who that is. And I'm not sure who that is. I'm sure. But there are some great people on this today. And this is going to be taking place. When does this start? Give us the breakdown on this. 1 p.m. it says, I think. EST?
Yeah, it's going to be 1 p.m. Eastern. And yeah, you actually can compete with our community as well. So if you go to our Discord, there'll be a link in there. I posted that last night, and you guys will actually have an opportunity to compete against the content creators, which is really super cool. And then you can win a share of the prize money as well. So if enough trading volume gets hit, it can be worth up to 40K of a split pot, which is pretty neat. So a lot of good opportunities. There's going to be some other prizes and giveaways throughout the show as well. So yeah, man, I'm super excited. Just honestly, I'm honored to even be a part of that. But one of the things I was looking at too, when I saw the poster there, is we have had half of those people on this show, half of them. So now I'm kind of thinking, I was like, maybe we make like a want it poster and we just keep Xing them off as we get every single one of those people on this show. I think that would be actually pretty cool.
That would be pretty cool. You need to set that up. If only I had the representation over there to make that happen, to create that little flow over.
I might have an end.
Just saying.
We'll see.
We've had a lot of those people on the show already, so we'll just get them back on again. It's okay. Yeah. Hey, shout out to all of the alumni that's in the chat right now.
Alumni, you know what I mean?
Purple names. There are purple membership names all over in the chat right now. Let's get into it though, because we have a lot to go over. I'm going to jump back over to here real fast. We're going to talk about a couple of quick caveats. One, Crux of Crypto is 10 margaritas deep in Mexico, just so you guys are tracking. So yeah, we are, the giveaway that we had planned, he's said for sure Friday, because he's the one that sets all that behind the scenes, guys. So because if you're a summa cum or magna cum laude versus just a cum laude, you get an extra entry for every tier. So he's got to do all that weighted value stuff for me. So there's that one first off. Secondly, we already talked about that. I did want to bring up, this is it. We're going to go here. We're going to go with fear and greed today. Guys, fear and greed index sitting at 76 today. Also, if you guys remember, we were at 79. Then we went down, and then we came back up. Fear and greed has been weird lately. I just got to put that out there, man. I don't know what's going on with it. I don't know why it's being so wonky. Like, it just will not cool off. But let's jump over and let's talk about the news. Wow, that is so not my camera angle. Not sure why that did that. There we go. How about that? That looks much better. There we go. Yeah. Little adjustments there go a long way. I'm just saying. All right, let's jump in here and take a look at what else we got today on the news, guys. The Bitcoin halving sitting 11 days away, guys. 11 days, 7 hours. Matter of fact, here in about 8 hours, sometime today, we will flip into 10 days left before this halving takes place. So that is counting down and getting going there. And then what else do we have here today in the charts? Crypto bubbles. Looking at the daily crypto bubbles, NEO. It is the one. It is up 25.3% for the day. Dog with hat up 15.5. ENA, I made a mistake on this. If I make a mistake, you will always get me to come and tell you I messed up. I said that it was that ENA, Athena, was a algorithmic stable token. It is not the actual stable coin, though. It is the governance token. So it is the Luna to the UST of that whole thing. So the ENA is the actual governance token. Wanted to clarify that. It is up 11.9% today, sitting right now at $1.33. AGIX up a little bit. Looks like some of the smaller ones that are like the AI, like Arweave is up 1.1, AGIX, not really moving a whole lot today. Beam, though, up 9.7. Let's take a look down here and see what we're looking at. Bitcoin up 3.5% for the day, pulling back just a little bit this morning at market opening. Ethereum up 6.8%. There is, we actually have an article we're going to talk about on this. And then what else we have here? What's big movers today? Let's see. We got Toncoin up 7.5% for the day. And then there is pretty much just middle of the road. Oh, Dog with hat, 15.6%. So you can't be mad at that. Let's jump into liquidation, see how this is looking. Under the liquidations, folks, we've got in the past 24 hours, 52,312 traders were liquidated. Total liquidations coming in at $182.62 million. Largest single liquidation order happened on Binance. It was Bitcoin, 7.8 million. Economic calendar for the day, guys. Actually, we're just going to go with this. We're going to come back here. We're going to go off of that, and then we're going to go to Kabisi letter because he actually does a really good breakdown on this for the day. Take a look here, guys. Looking at the key events this week. March CPI inflation data will be coming out on Wednesday. Fed meeting minutes. That is going to be the actual transcribed words, the notes, verbatim of the meeting of last month. That'll be out on Wednesday also. And then we got March PPI coming out there on Thursday. Initial jobless claims. So that's that weekly jobless claims that we always update. That'll be out on Thursday. And then we get the Michigan consumer sentiment data on Friday. Key events this week. On top of that, 8 Fed speakers talking this week. Will inflation rise again? That's what we're going to be seeing and watching. That's going to be that CPI and that PPI data. That will be the indicators on that. What else do we have? Earnings reports, guys. Cons Furniture, nothing big on the crypto side or the tech side this week. Really, it's just things like WD-40, Tilray. Let's see here. Thera Technologies, Delta Airlines. So nothing major today that should throw too many things into the market chaos until Friday. On Friday, we got Wells Fargo, JP Morgan Chase, BlackRock, Citi, Progressive, and State Street taking out that Progressive there. And we pretty much have all of the big finance names coming in on Friday for their earnings reports. So that's what we have there. And then let's go ahead. We're going to jump into the lead article today. And then we'll talk about this, and then we'll jump over into the charts because I believe that we have OC back in the house. He's here. So buy MicroStrategy stock because Bitcoin should double in 2 years, according to analysts, guys. Benchmark Palmer, now the street's biggest bull on MicroStrategies with the $1,875 stock price target. Currently, just so you're tracking, MicroStrategies is sitting at about 1,575, up 9.3% today. We're going to take a look at that. Shares of MicroStrategy charged higher Monday after Wall Street's new top bull nearly doubled his price target. This is saying that this is now the highest target of the 5 analysts surveyed by FactSet who cover the stock, and it implies about a 30% upside from Friday's closing price. Now, what I wanted to show here is on this article, I believe it's here. Is this the one? Or is this the one? This is the one. And I was here, but it went off. But the guy was talking about that Bitcoin could get outperformed double. Let's just go ahead and jump over to the trio. Nope, trio. Trio. Is OC there? Do we have an OC? We do not have an OC. We'll go here for a second while I get OC set up. They were talking about that MicroStrategies could double the gains this year that Bitcoin does. And that was the whole reason that we got into on previous talking about MicroStrategies, Clean Spark, stuff like that for those moves, because if Bitcoin does a 3x or a 4x, that would mean that MicroStrategies is potentially doing a 6 to 8x. What is your thoughts on that? Because just so you're tracking, this morning alone, Bitcoin up 3.6% right now, according to TradingView. MicroStrategies up 9.9% today. And we're going to take a look and do some comparison on those here in a little bit. But what's your thoughts on it, TradeFly?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. What's the basis of why are they essentially 2x relative to Bitcoin price movement? So I would kind of need to understand that, like, before I made some kind of analysis.
Because of their calls of where they think that it's going to, and then how those Bitcoin exposed stocks tend to outperform Bitcoin. It's just basically like I did when I looked at the historicals on it. So
okay, so are they I don't know, matching that up with like revenue and then saying that that's just 2xing the company's value based on that? Just
yes,
because
the more that MicroStrategies makes on their stock, the more they buy Bitcoin. And so it's basically, according to Michael Saylor, it's basically leveraged Bitcoin.
Okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, right? Because if ultimately they end up being profitable, it's really more about the numbers and the speculation on the company, right? That's kind of what's driving the price there. Because you can look at some companies, they're not even profitable in some years, yet their valuation still goes up, which changes how much that company is worth when you're talking about investing in it in the stock. So, yeah, I mean, I can see that because at this point, I mean, MicroStrategies, if they're not profitable by a large share with how much Bitcoin they own, then something is drastically wrong with what they're doing outside of just them investing in Bitcoin. So, yeah, I would say it probably makes sense.
Okay, cool. I'm going to go ahead and bring up OC because he doesn't have his typical camera. He's having some issues, but he's here, guys. He's here. So we have him on the camera now. Welcome. What's up, OC? We're glad to have you here, man.
Not much. Thank you. Always having issues. That's part of life.
It is part of life. You are correct. But we're glad to have you here. We see you're not in your fancy modern mansion anymore. So but we're glad to have you here. Did you hear any of that we were talking about, OC, about MicroStrategies is essentially leveraged Bitcoin, and the 3 to 4x of Bitcoin could equate to like a 6 to 8x for MicroStrategies? What are your thoughts on that?
I absolutely think so. I mean, they've been in from the beginning, and we also see Michael Saylor as, like the I don't know, one of those big investors that kind of like keep on float Bitcoin on the worst case scenarios, right? And I mean, we've been seeing Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy just pushing, and I believe that right now it's just part of the game that they do make those gains because they've been in and out, basically just taking profits, going buying the dips, so on and so forth. I do remember that back in the day, we used to just joke around and say that be careful, because when Michael Saylor bought, everything's gonna be dropping, right? I mean, but for some reason, very funny, strange enough, whenever he bought, it was just going down. But now I believe it's time for things to turn around for him, and not only that, also see Mike's strategy making that push, and had leveraged Bitcoin for the good.
Just
there was
so you
a
know,
point
go ahead.
where yeah, sorry. So there was a point where it almost felt like when Bitcoin price was coming down, that Saylor was trying to act as a support level. Like they were buying as it was coming down, and people were like, that's not really the bottom," but they didn't care, right? And it was almost like they were trying to single-handedly like hold the price up at certain points. I do remember that at one point as the price was coming down. But hey, quick shout out, man. We got 77 people right now watching this stream. If you guys are here right now, if you're new, go ahead, like and subscribe, turn that notification bell on, because we are dropping that alpha every day for you guys. And don't forget to join our Discord as well, because we are mixing it up with you guys and dropping some alpha in there as well. So just wanted to give that quick shout out.
Absolutely. Appreciate that. Yeah, French Toast, by the way, OC, said that the reason you were late today was because you were looking for your tinfoil. You were trying to find more tinfoil because of all the conspiracies going on today with the eclipse. And because, for those that don't know, we have a massive, major, full eclipse, solar eclipse coming today. You should know this because there's been conspiracies all over the internet about it. Have you guys heard any of the conspiracies?
Dude, my wife, she's not even gonna
absolutely
watch it.
plotted.
She was like, she's superstitious. I'm like, I bought glasses, man, and it's a miss. I should have wore those today for the show. I'm a little upset at myself.
Yeah, there's been some crazy um conspiracies about that. The company that is doing the collider today has the demon of destruction out front, and then that NASA's firing 3 rockets at it at the same time to measure I don't know. It's far beyond my capacity when I'm waking up in the morning to understand all those conspiracies. But
I
yes,
don't
there
get
are
into
some
that
crazy
stuff.
conspiracies on the eclipse today. So, but you know, it's not a conspiracy. Bitcoin's pumping.
Another conspiracy.
Let's jump over here and take a look at this. I got to get OC put into all of these, so you'll have
Don't
to
worry.
forgive me. OC came in late because he was having issues, so I had to get him in here. There we go. Check it out, guys. Bitcoin. Let's look at Bitcoin here. We had this triangle here that we were talking about, the symmetric triangle that we were kind of just bouncing back and forth in. We hit down here perfectly, got our bounce up. We got a rejection last night. And I thought, well, you know, as Alex always pointed out numerous times, excuse me, guys, sorry about that. Congestion. It's sinus season here. It's allergy season in Texas, which is 12 months a year. We got this rejection here, and Alex had been talking about this, that there was 13 days here, 13 days into the halving, and now it's about 11 days. But I thought we might be coming down, but I was watching very close for 2 things. One, the dynamic reactor was coming in right here for support, and then 2, we had a golden pocket. If you take a look at what happened here on this rejection, and this is for all the people that say TA doesn't work, look at this rejection that we already knew this line coming from all the way back here, all these little stops on it, right? We knew the bottom one, all the little stops on it. Every time we got a bounce on it, we pulled back and bounced perfectly at the 618 of the golden pocket, giving us a break up through. And now we are sitting with rejection currently at the 887. That is our resistance line that we literally closed the candle on. So I'm watching right now. I would like to see, and this is a shout out also to, I think it was Crypto Blood on X said this. He said, watch for us to pull back and get the retest on either this trend line or the golden pocket. You can go with either one. I could see a wick down, pulling into that, and then pulling back up for a candle close on the green trend line, and then on the top of this triangle, and then going up from there. That would be bullish. A retest of the 786, because we really haven't tested the bottom of this platinum pocket yet, would be bullish. Any of those retest levels would be, in my opinion, a setup for a long. Right now, though, sitting at about 71,994. TradeFly, what do you have on your heat map? Let's go look there.
So just real quick, I just want to show you guys something. I don't know. I think it's kind of funny, but we're two different people. And just so you guys know, we don't really talk about our analysis before the show. And look exactly what I have drawn. It's almost the exact same thing as Piper. I'm on the daily, but you can see golden pocket, symmetrical triangle, all of that, all lining up with the breakout. So yes, like some of this stuff does work, and you can be totally different people looking at it in a whole separate way, because a majority of the time we do. But look how this is lining up right now. All right, let's go over to the liquidation heat map. I have it on the weekly right now, and you can see the maker has gotten his. There were some hot spots here on the weekly. It's cleared out that area. I mean, look at this right now. It's dark. It's like it's in space right now. So, I mean, there is freedom of movement. We don't have any worries right now in terms of the maker chasing any liquidity, because there's really nothing too close. Now, you can look down here and you can see liquidity is building up, in the $67,000 range and below. Obviously, people are in leveraged longs, and they haven't been, this liquidity hasn't really been cleared out yet. So right now, short term, nothing real big on the liquidation heat map, only because the maker already really got his. He cleared out all these hot spots here on its way up. And so now it's kind of freedom of movement in terms of where the liquidity is sitting.
Okay. So what is those levels coming in at right now currently on there?
If you want to go on the low side, I would say it starts to heat up right around 67K. And then you got your next hotspot that's really at about 65,850 and down. I mean, let's go ahead. If you want to zoom out, we can go. Let's look at the 1 month. I don't look at this one too often, so let's go ahead and be surprised together. All right, here you go. So there is liquidity on, like, if you're looking at the 1 month, there's definitely some liquidity higher up, because people have shorted since the previous. I'm not gonna say previous, but the all-time high. All right, so they've entered in these short positions, and then same thing. You see this where we have multiple tests of a resistance area. They entered into these leveraged longs thinking that the price was going to break down. Ultimately, it did. They were happy, and then they got wrecked. So this is what I talk about when I say the maker's going to get his. You see this hot spot right here, because
And
people are
what is that
short.
hot spot at?
Well, it's already been cleared out. So that was at about 72K, and that was just above these hits on this resistance level at about 72K. So the maker already really got his. Now above, there's obviously some liquidity, but that's more correlated to this area here, which is the all-time high. So, it's possible we continue to push up to look for this liquidity.
Yeah, just so you're tracking, we did. I'm going to get ready to come to you, OC, for Bitcoin, but just so you're tracking, we did have a full retracement of about almost 18%, which is right in line with what we've seen numerous times over and over and over, is that ballpark of 20% pullback. We said 20 might be the new 40%. So 40% might be the old 20, if you will, and now we have a 20% pullback on what used to be a 40 to 50%. So OC, let's kick it over to you, and while you start talking about your chart, because your chart should come up, we're going to talk about your I'm going to get your camera set up, bro. Go for it. Oh, nope, we have no screen. Let me bring up OC's screen here so that he can talk about it. OC, you're having all kinds of issues today, bro, but it's okay. We love you, man.
It's Eclipse, buddy. It's Eclipse.
All right, it's the Eclipse. That's what it is. Put your tinfoil hat on, man. What are you doing?
Oh yeah. I don't know what my brave browser didn't want to connect. I restarted like 4 times and I just started to pull my head out. I mean, it was crazy today in the morning. All right. So I'm still looking at these areas right down here, guys. I mean, I don't want to be the bear in the room. Nonetheless, remember, smart trader is a prepared trader. My FOMO money is right here and right here, just in case like we still have that black swan event and we go back lower back down. Nonetheless, we're breaking the range, the 4-hour time range that we've been seeing here. Not only that, we're also breaking, and remember those trend lines that Piper and TradeFly have had? Well, I also have them. They seem to be very trendy trend lines, right? So we have it right there. We've been breaking it, and if we go Yes, I know.
Trend lines are trending on
That
the
was a
show.
pretty yeah, that was a pretty bad joke, I know. And then we were looking at the 15 minutes throughout the weekend or till Saturday, and we were doing on that 15 minutes. We had a little symmetrical triangle right here. We had that alert ring as we were breaking, hitting the top here, breaking it once again, the trend line, and going at the top of the triangle. So far, right here, I am expecting. Let me see if I can pull everything out without moving it. Yeah, just there we go. Perfect. We are on a breakout. I'm waiting for the retest, and off we go. Nonetheless, I'm gonna be a little bit a little bit careful. Sorry, at these zones, and that is because if we break back into the channel, most likely this is going to be a fake out on the Wyckoff range, and we could be going visiting these areas right down here, somewhere around the 62,200, 62,300. Okay, so just being a little bit careful there. I'm gonna be taking a decision right after the bounce. Like if we go back down, find support and bounce off, I might be joining in late rather than with that confirmation than jumping in right at the support and then failing the support and then going to visit all the way down there. So yeah, that's what I got on Bitcoin. I'm very happy that it is being pumping. Nonetheless, also playing out carefully.
Awesome. Let's jump over here back to the news. Got an article about Ethereum. We're going to take a look at that. There is a 2-pack there, not a 3-pack. But on this article, guys, it says Wells go on massive ETH buying spree. As the price jumps above $3,600, we're going to be taking a look at that chart in just 1 second. But a key note here, and what I want to point out, and that was smooth. I just got to put that out there. That was smooth. Got it all down while I'm talking about the headline. Recent report shared by... on Spot On-Chain Analytics account shows that several Ethereum whales have begun stocking up on ETH despite the fact that the coin's price printed a massive 6% rise over the past 3 hours. So sudden Ethereum price growth was likely due to the Bitcoin price surge, which has finally regained its $72,000 level. We just took a look at all of that. At the time of the writing, second largest cryptocurrency, Ethereum, changing hands at 36.20, and right now, I do believe it is sitting a little bit lower than that. It's 36.26. So no, not lower than what it was. It is a little bit higher actually. The biggest of them pushed ETH up to 3.64%, and the ETH buying spree unleashed, pushing the ETH price up, guys. It's a lot of whales. Over the past 14 hours, 2 whales have purchased 10,322 ETH, paying 35.1 million in stablecoins. One well, according to the tweet, used 8 different buying wallets to buy approximately 6,145 ETH at roughly about $3,400, sitting just a little bit below that within the last 9 hours. The other one bought 4,178 ETH for 14.25 million DAI. So okay. There's the little Spot On-Chain X post there. But yeah, ETH is being bought up by Wells. Let's go ahead and jump over to my chart, and we will take a look and see what we're seeing here on Ethereum, guys, because ETH is getting a lot of movement. And actually, just a few minutes ago, I was sitting here watching it retest my red box here. If you guys don't recall this red box, it was it's been going on for a while back here. I said, watch for this to be resistance. Every time we touch it, we seem to get rejected here. We are now sitting above it. If we hold this candle on this 4 hour, I do see us coming back up, revisiting some of these previous levels back here. Let's go take a look at where those are, and we will see what they look like. Let's go to the daily. Previous levels back here on Ethereum was the 786 at $4,000. So what I'm watching for is right now is for Ethereum to get a clean test above this red resistance box, which now should be green. Technically, it is support. And then we're going to be watching to see if it can head back up to that 786. Now that we have broken above the golden pocket, let's go ahead and turn this green. There we go. Perfect. Let's go take a look at the oscillators, see how they're looking. They are looking a little bit overbought right now, and the RSI is looking pretty hot. So I would not be surprised to see this come back and do a test and lose this green box, putting it back to resistance, maybe retest at 3,500. But if we continue going up, my target is on this $4,000 Ethereum, one level at a time first, though, guys. Let's see if we can get above the upper trade band here. That's coming in currently right now at about 3,685. TradeFly, let's kick it over to you. If you see anything on Ethereum, if not, then we will jump into some other stuff.
No, not a whole lot, man. I kind of agree with what you're looking at. There wasn't a ascending level of support that was, you know, it's still kind of holding up. You go back to, I think it looks like about February, so it was resistance, now it's support, 2 touches on there, and then yeah, we're at an area of resistance right now at about 0.236 is about where the price is at, and you just look back on the chart. This is on the daily, so you got I'd say a little bit stronger indications here on the daily. It is acting as resistance right now, so it's pretty much at a critical area of like, hey, like, are we going to break through and then see that continuation up and right? Coming down to the prime oscillator, you did see when it got that second touch here on this trend line, it printed some divergence, right? So that's a good sign as well. So that would have been a nice little play on its way up, but now it's kind of a wait and see. You would like to see this break that area that you were talking about. So as always, we're looking forward to look for a retest before we see continuation up and right. So nothing too much more to add there.
Nice. Oh, see what you got for us, bro.
Basically just looking at that, we have a little range in here. We see following this same pattern that we have on Bitcoin. Let me see if my indicators want to load today, because there we go. All right. So it seems like trading view, internet things, Equinox things happening. All right, not Equinox. What was the thing there? All right. Yeah, Eclipse. There you go. Perfect. Now it's working. All right. So we are right at the resistance, bouncing from the resistance. We have a couple of bearish divergences down here, going for the 0 line. We're still bullish down here, but also we are going into an equilibrium zone from consolidation, which means we could be having a little formation here. Mostly we could be looking at a little pennant, and then based on that pennant, look for that breakout and maybe continuation to the upside. So let me just bring up a little bit of my order blocks in here, or other support and resistances. And where are my order blocks? Should be right around here, but they're not out here. All right, whatever. Oh, they are all the way down here. So seems like on my predictive ranges, we are having some confluence right down here and also right down here. So I will be saying that as long as we don't lose this area right around 3,500 or 3,000, I don't know, 600 ish. As long as we don't lose that area, we're still good for a little range here and a possible continuation, or at least a hedging strategy for a breakout and retest, or breakout and continuation. But so far looking good. I mean, we've been on worse scenarios on Ethereum. Actually, this is the first pump that I see in a long time that actually matters based on the price action on continuation of candles. And this is for the 15-minute lower time frame. So that's what I got on Ethereum.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm trying to give trade crypto. Somebody already got them. Awesome. Appreciate that. Yeah, Crypto Warz is in the chat right now. Shout out to Keeper, bro. We had your whole thumbnail up here today talking about all these people, and what we came up with. TradeFly came up with this actually was he would like to get, as each person is eliminated, get them to come on to do an interview on the show, especially if it happens at the hands of TradeFly or the OC guys. So yeah, that's what we want to do, Keeper. Just so you know. Let's go ahead and jump over back to TradeFly. TradeFly, what you got for us on the altcoin side, bro?
Oh man, that's what I mean. I actually have the DXY pulled up right now.
Oh, that's fine. No, go with the DXY. That's fine.
So one of the things we've been following for quite some time, you can see all the circles on my screen right now. This is on the daily for the DXY, is this range that we have as resistance. So you can see, made a little box here, and look, I mean, you got how many touch points? It's banana land. How many times we've used it as either support or resistance? Well, right now we're actually getting that rejection, right? So we've talked about the inverse correlation. Obviously, it's a loose correlation, but if you see a rejection here of the DXY, that opens up the potential for Bitcoin to make its move up, which kind of correlated to Bitcoin hitting that area of support. So, it's something we want to keep an eye on right now, because as the DXY is pulling back, it may find support here in this area where the dynamic reactor is. And then, it could start making a move up, because if you look at this trend right now, this is actually kind of a bullish trend for the DXY, right? So I would anticipate, just looking at it, maybe some potential for this to continue up and right, which would then, kind of open the door for Bitcoin to find some kind of consolidation or a range. So just wanted to point that out for you, to see how many, if we retest this area here. But coming down to the prime oscillator, if you want to use that, I guess you can. I don't know how effective it is on the DXY, but it is showing right here. Like if we see this actually, let me go ahead and paint it for you here. If we see something like this, that's kind of confirmation of what I'm seeing right there. So, just keep an eye on it. Obviously, DXY going up and right, not ideal for Bitcoin. Not saying it is. It did get a rejection, and that's kind of confirmed here because you can see it pulling back. It's just we're kind of at a decision point of whether it wants to come back down this way or if it wants to come down where the dynamic reactor is and start working its way back up and kind of continue this trend up and right. So just keep an eye on it. Just want to point that out to you guys when you're doing your analysis for Bitcoin.
Yeah, one thing that I have on there for the Dixie is this. We have this rising, broadening wedge here, and one thing that I'm seeing here is we are starting to break that here, based on it being level parallel with these previous touches back here. We do have an upper resistance band from the predictive ranges coming in right there with confluence over the dynamic reactor. So I will be watching to see if we can break through that, but at this point right now, with the RSI being rejected off of the zero line, us getting the zero line rejection on the Oscillator Pro, and we have CPI and PPI data coming out this week, those could be catalysts all for the Dixie to get a retracement all the way back down to about 103, which would be this upper trade band here. Previous resistance and previous support, I'm going to be watching for that closely. Matter of fact, if we go back and take a look, you can see how clean those support was back here numerous times. So that would give crypto a really nice opportunity to pump back up. Pump it up, if you will, as Alex O loves to play on his show all the time. So shout out to Trade Intuition in the chat right now. He said, which one is his favorite? Which one is everyone's favorite of the co-hosts? 1, 2, or 3, Piper, OC, TradeFly. It's no one of us is as strong as all of us together. So there you go. OC, what do you got, bro? Let's kick it over to you.
I do got right here, Dot. And I believe that it depends on who's the favorite. It depends on the hat that we're wearing and the coin that we're looking at. That varies.
Fast.
All right. So looking at Dot, we have right here that we are bearish, right? We don't need to take out the side right here and acknowledge that we are still bearish, guys, despite I believe that we could have a serious breakout at this point. But we are bearish. And why is it? Because our prime score, it is 1. We are below dynamic reactor. And also, we haven't made the push through when we were supposed to. Where we were supposed to at the zero line, we're supposed to be already at the dynamic reactor, ready to make that push through. This is telling me that despite I could be making a breakout, it could be a fake out. So we need to be vigilant on this situation. And why is that? It is because we reacted to a huge support right down here. And basically, other than dynamic reactor, we have mostly nothing to stop us all the way up here other than some volume. But we can see that we have positive outcome volume. Let me just wait for it to load because I just pulled a couple of more candles in here. Right? Wait. There we go. Perfect. We still have some bullish outcome volume. We are right there on the bullishness. Also, we have negative, but then we have a huge order volume right down here, up here. That could be, if we can make it above, have it propelled it to the upside. Nonetheless, it is dangerous. Why? Because something is happening here. Again, we did not reach the dynamic reactor as we were breaking through the zero line, and the duck head right here on the goose head that happened was a little bit too below. Yes, a beautiful goose head there, making its magic to make for that retest support, and off we go. So at this point, my strategy is telling me, and this is personal, my strategy is telling me sell, right? Open up a short. Nonetheless, I'm not shorting right now at this moment, especially if I did not short Bitcoin. I'm not going to be shorting any other altcoins. I'd rather reposition myself and look for some structuring here. So what kind of structure will be maybe a bounce? I'm finding back support here to make another point of confluence right there for a more stable, more reliable trend line that I could be finding up here. going for another flip of the ribbon on the green clouding here, also to make another support line. Look at that. Maybe I could even go all the way down to my zero lining here for a stronger bounce, and then off we go with full strength and break out the dynamic reactor. If I break out right now or throughout this 4 next hours, what I'm going to be looking at was going to be a retracement. Remember, we have negative outcome here, and that will be basically just sells and then finding back support at the trend line or dynamic reactor, and then I will be going or planning for a possible long. So that's what I got on dot 4 hours. We are right at the edge of make or break, but be careful. We're still bearish. We're still bearish.
Awesome. I'm going to jump over here. Actually, TradeFly, you got anything ready to go on alt side?
Yeah, I'm looking at a render on the 4 hour right now. So
and
we
then
did talk about render, I believe.
I'm going to come back and knock out Caspa and Stacks. So
okay, right on. Cool. Yeah. So render on the 4 hour, looking at that, we did talk about this last week. We came down to the golden pocket, and we mentioned it could be an opportunity to jump in. I was a little skittish last week, so I will openly admit that, just because of the trajectory of the way it was coming down, and I was scared that the greater overall market may have been reversing the trend. Right. I talked about that last week. Obviously wrong. So I'll say that. And the market has since recovered. Sitting at what, close to 72K for Bitcoin, which means the altcoins are going to follow, right? So it did find some support in the golden pocket, or at the golden pocket, but now there's an area of resistance I'm going to keep an eye on, and there is a little bit of confluence there with the dynamic reactor. We're testing that time now, so that's a pretty pivotal moment for render, because we're testing that area of resistance. We want to get over top of that. If we get over top of that area of resistance, then it could be game on, and we can see that continuation up and right again. So right now, I'm going to go ahead and point out a couple key areas for you. One is at about 10.17, and then the support level was where the golden pocket was. So that's anywhere between 8.9, 8.6. So if it pulls back, you could see a bounce in that area. Let me go ahead and take that off just because it's a little confusing. But what I was talking about with that, when you see that little orange, was what I wanted to see was it test this area of support. And then I wanted to come down and actually test this area of support again, but I wanted to see the RSI or the prime oscillator move up and right. Well, we got the movement up and right with the oscillator, as well as the price action itself. Again, testing this area of resistance. Hopefully it flips it into support. And then we start looking about this area, right? Where can we go if we actually break through this area of support? And I'm looking at probably about pretty close to 12. I'd say about 11.9 or so. Would line up with where I see resistance, or your next real big area of resistance. So that's kind of what I'm looking at on render. Again, let's kind of wait and see. We want to see it break this area right here.
awesome. Yeah, I'm very bullish on render. I have quite a bit in my wallet. So let's go render. I like render. Take a look here, guys, at Caspa. I'm looking at local fibs on here right now. We're going to look at a couple of things. One, on the 4 hour here on the local fibs, we did have my buy-in level down here that I said, hey, this is, level 1 to buy in. And we had a couple arrows. It was a trade call in one of our newsletters, I believe last week was when we did the Caspa one. We are right now sitting inside of the platinum pocket on the local fibs. This local fib pulled from the top of this range. Where's it at? Where was we at? Yeah, we were back here. We pulled from here down to here. We did a breakout on it, but if you look back at where we pulled back into, yes, we went into some extended areas of the fibs. We came back and tested that 382 clean, tested that 50 clean, had a lot of fight here at the golden pocket, and now let's stretch it out. We had that resistance on the 786, and we are now above the 786, holding inside of this platinum pocket. Let's go ahead and clean off all the Mexican spaghetti here. Shout out to OC. And then let's get into the actual trend-based extensions and see where we are. We're fighting right now on the phase 7 golden pocket of my long-term trend lines right now, guys. But from that entry line to where we are now, that was about an 11 to 12% move, 11% currently, a little bit over 12 on the high side there when it wicked up above. We need to get above the 7618 right here in order to be in a bullish continuation. Right now, if we turn on the indicators, take a look at what we got there. That beautiful little flash down wick was on the dynamic reactor for the test. So that is bullish. We're sitting above the dynamic reactor on the 60-minute, the 4-hour, the 12-hour, and the daily. So we're bullish on the dynamic reactor across all of the time frames there. And then on top of that, we do have a continuation of prime score for trend to the upside, sitting at an 8 and a very low consolidation score. If we take a look at the oscillators on top of this, it looks like we are now getting a bounce here on the cloud split, and we do have a continuation with some decent looking RSI candles there. I think that we are going to end the day getting above this. We do have a resistance coming on the delta median at about 15.1 cents, but I am going to be watching for, and we're going to go ahead and pull this bar over because it's been here for a long time. I do believe we're looking back again at 16.1 cents for the resistance. I think we're going to make it through this delta median no problem sometime this week. That's what I have on CAS, but really quick on stacks, guys, and then we'll continue on, pass it over to OC. Stacks, we talked about this, I believe, this week on the thing, on the newsletter, and we got to bounce off of that trade band there. We have now broken above the delta median trade band, and the dynamic reactor had a beautiful retest there, have pulled above the phase 7 golden pocket on stacks, and right now we are testing it. I do think that we are, as we called out earlier on this setup, I do believe we're looking at $3.65 being the target for this. Watch for a continuation to the upside. Everything looking very bullish here on the RSI, and that oscillator still has room to run. So let's kick it over to you, OC. What you got for us, bro?
All right, I got ALGO. So ALGO, pretty much following on the breakouts that we were looking at. We have right here a previous analysis on my rooftop lines. By the way, guys, this is only my way of thinking outside the background support, resistance, and trend lines. So you won't be finding this theory anywhere else. The point in here is using geometry and finding triangular patterns throughout the charts to find those big support and big resistance. The point of this, especially these lines, are to find a neckline right down here. As you can see, that neckline pretty much worked beautiful at predicting the breakout. Now going for the retest, we are right now on a strong sell. We are basically having an overbought area right now. We are bearish. We are below dynamic reactor, and also we are below a big resistance area. At this point, I'm looking for a possible entry for a short. Again, I'm not trying to short the bull market, not especially right now that we are so close of the halving event. But other than that, I'll be looking for maybe a rejection, seeing if it holds right down here, because I do expect for us to be hovering for a little while, especially in between these areas. And why is that? Because we can see huge volume at these areas right here. Let's wait for trading view to load. Perfect. Huge volume in those areas right there. And then after that, we can see that on those areas, we kind of like a hover over for a little bit before breaking back above. So I'll be waiting for a reaction at this support and basically just make a little bit of space or a time before committing to a possible next movement. I don't think that we're that bearish, especially because Bitcoin is breaking up. But so far, so good. Possible entries or scenarios of entries, I'll be looking for a short somewhere around this same area, maybe pushing it through the dynamic reactor, going to this trend line that we have going on here, maybe 1 or 2 candles for a fake out, and then a flip of the ribbon right down here. And after that flip of the ribbon, a possible entry right down here at these areas. Remember that if you're going to be shorting the bull market, you need to be very, very, very careful, especially if you use a stop loss. And remember that shorting a bull market could go the other way around. So have a plan B and a short or tight stop loss. So yeah, that's what I got on dot, guys.
Absolutely. TradeFly, let's kick it over to you. What you got for us, bro?
Right on. So yeah, I was on a little TA on a ADA in the background as well, but I had near pulled up. And
we had a request for ADA also.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got ADA? Sweet.
No, I don't have it. You can go ahead and go to it since you're already looking at it.
All right, sweet. So I'll keep it quick on near. Near looks actually bullish. So if you look over here, prime scores 9, daily, 4 hours, 60 minutes, all bullish. And the difference between near And some of the other coins that we're seeing right now is actually on the top side of the dynamic reactor. So that's a good sign for near, which means it's showing a little bit of strength relative to some of the other coins. And when it pulled back, it didn't pull back as hard, right? It didn't pull back to the golden pocket. It only pulled back to the 0.5. So you see that it got support here at the 0.5, and now it's just slowly working its way up and right. And that looks very pretty when you're looking at it on the chart, right? Because you see that nice wave effect, just kind of oscillating up and down. That's kind of what you want to see, setting a series of higher highs and higher lows, right? That's ultimately bullish. Coming down the prime oscillator, that supports the movement that you're seeing as well. We're on the top side of the 0.382 right now. You got multiple tests of that area as support, and you see right here, you know, everything is lining up really to be bullish. The thing that I would say my one teeny tiny concern right now is at the 0.236 or at about 766 or so. There is going to be a little resistance, and you are seeing a little bit of divergence with the prime oscillator. So I wouldn't be too surprised if we see a pullback to the 0.382 for another retest of that area at about 6.8 where the dynamic reactor is. If you are looking to get into this, that would be the opportunity for you potentially. But this really was the opportunity. When you got that two tests right here, because we talk about this, like we want to see, for me personally in my strategy, I like to see two tests of a support area. That was kind of your entry point, being on the top side of dynamic reactor, and then it moved up to this area of resistance. So there's your two key areas to look at for near. Again, overall trend for near is pretty bullish. Let's go over to ADA and look at that. Honestly, I know there's a lot of hate on ADA, but if you're looking at the daily right now for ADA, that looks pretty bullish. I have to update this. It's 15.5. It's probably because I was working on scalping this weekend because of trading wars. Can't be behind OC, man. Got to keep up with my frenemy. But the daily is looking pretty bullish for Cardano here. So it did find support on the dynamic reactor. That is pretty close to where the 382 is. These aren't always going to be perfect, but you know, right here was really your entry when it came down to the golden pocket, dynamic reactor, confluence, you know, all the good things that you like to see there. And then ultimately we had that push up to about 80 cents. Let me get over to the 4-hour real quick to just see if I can see a little bit more detail for you guys. Let's see. So let's look at this line right here where the 382 is. I would actually personally, I would probably pull this down probably a little bit. And let me get you a horizontal line here, right about there. All right, so I'm looking at 56 cents as an area of support right now, and that correlates with this big wick that shows you there's buying pressure, multiple touch points, and there's also some areas of resistance here to kind of give you more confluence, saying, hey, this area is probably important, and let's go ahead and get the chemtrails going. Let's see how that supports what we're looking at right now. And it doesn't want to come up. That's awesome. Yeah. It's failing me right now. I don't know what's going on. I'm going to change the time frame here. Let's go back to the 4 hours. Sometimes it just takes persistence to get these things to work. All right, here we go. Prime oscillator is now popping up. There we go. So let's make this a little bit bigger here, and cool. So you see that area of support right there that supports it with volume. That's right below the area of 56 cents. That's at about 54, 55 cents, right? So now we're finding a little bit of confluence with this area, and it's got volume associated with it. And you guys know that I really like that when you're talking about finding an area of support. So let's key in on that area as a support area, 55 to 56 cents, we'll say. And then we now, looking at the 4 hour, are going to have to fight with the dynamic reactor. We know that this thing, for whatever reason, holds up as support and resistance over and over again. Once we fight through that, then I think ADA could continue some upward movement, at least up to the 0.236 at about 67 cents. I think that's well within play right now. Everything is supporting a little bit of bullish movement for ADA. So that's just saying that the overall market continues up and right, or at least consolidates. So again, keep an eye on Bitcoin. Bitcoin's daddy. That's going to drive the rest of the market. But overall, it's not looking terrible for ADA.
Awesome. Let's jump over here. Let's take a look at World Mobile Token, and then we'll Trade Intuition asked a question about thoughts on ADA this run. He said last bull run, ADA held it last bull run while other coins moved. This bull run, ADA may surprise us, and he wanted to know our thoughts on it. He said never liked ADA, but they might surprise us this bull run. Thoughts? So we'll talk about that. I know that we have a video deep dive that Crux did on Crux's curriculum on our channel. Just go under there and look for Crux's playlist, and you'll see an ADA video in there. Nice deep dive that he did, breakdown on it. He's very bullish on ADA, so we'll have to take a look at that. But taking a look right now, I'm looking at World Mobile Tokens. Shout out to ADA Ace in the chat right now. If you guys don't follow him, you guys should follow him. He does a lot of great breakdowns on what ADA is, but in all of its network, its eco network that it has. So taking a look here, though, I did some trend-based fib extensions. These are going to be coming back from this low area that we had back in here up to that point there, and then down to the lower again. So now we have a trend-based. You can see here that we got a really nice touch here on the platinum pocket. It was nice support for us, and that launched us up. Here, we do have this little variation. I think that this little gap here is probably just some placement because I did this very fast, but I'm pretty sure that this retest was the phase 1 golden pocket, and that right now we are sitting above the phase 2 golden pocket. If you guys want to know where these levels are sitting at, the next golden pocket phase on this, if we hold support here at 40 cents, is looking like 51.7 cents. That would be the phase 3. And then we also have the 62.6 cents here at the phase 4. I think that we are at least going to see us come up and make it to the phase 3 before we get a little retracement. If you take a look, though, at what we're seeing here right now, it does look like we're getting some cool off on the Oscillator Pro. We are looking kind of weak here on the RSI, but these can sit there and cool off, no problem. And all World Mobile Token has to do is literally just go sideways and go into consolidation. Sitting right now with a low consolidation score and a high trend score. So this has plenty of consolidation space for that number to grow from the 0 up to 5 or 6, giving us that consolidation there while these all cool off. That would be extremely bullish, in my opinion, for World Mobile Tokens continuation. Let's go ahead and drop off a lot of this drawings here, and then I want to pull up one thing real fast. Let's drop that down and let's put on the predictive ranges, and we'll show you we have already broken into a whole new predictive range set, guys. When we break this top purple line or the bottom purple line, just depending on which way we go, that is when we get predictive ranges printing, and they are going to be here until it breaks either above that level at 65.4 cents or below this level, which might be difficult with that dynamic reactor running in. As long as the sentiment is bullish on this, I doubt we're going to go to that direction. Looking at the upside here, we do tend to trade between the two gold bands. That top gold band is coming in at 53 cents right now. So looking pretty bullish on World Mobile Token. Let's jump out and let's talk this ADA. Thoughts on ADA? Is it going to surprise us this year, or is it going to be a stable coin in the alt world for us this year? TradeFly, your thoughts. OC, your thoughts. We'll go TradeFly first.
I will say during the last bull run that I was a part of, that's kind of what you saw. It hung out around that dollar mark. That's kind of where I stacked my bags on Cardano because there was a very clear area of support. And ultimately, it took off, right? It went up to about $3 or so. I think I exited around 260, if I remember correctly, and I was mad at myself. But it's just slow to the party, and we've talked about that over and over again. Bitcoin will make its move, Ethereum will make a move, and everybody gets upset about Cardano, and then all of a sudden, this thing just pumps to the moon. So, no, I'm not nervous because I've seen it before. I'm not too worried about it now. If it doesn't make that move on this go round, right? Like we see Bitcoin moving, we see Ethereum moving, but I think some of that is ETF based, right, for Bitcoin. And then there's a little speculation on Ethereum. And then of course, meme coins, there's just excitement coming back into the crypto market as a whole. If we don't see Cardano move this time, then that would kind of perk my senses a little bit. I'd be a little bit concerned. So we got to kind of wait and see, but it's traditionally slow to the party. So we just got to wait.
Just wait. OC, your thoughts. So is it going to surprise us or not this year?
Well, I think there's two ways to go here, and I believe it's gonna play it out the way in like a movie or like the movies where we talk about time travel, like where you have a premonition, and basically that premonition you just kind of like it does whatever it had to do to happen that premonition, right? Because everybody's just waiting Cardano to be late, so nobody's is buying it. Therefore, everybody's moving with caution. And then when they estimate, or when everybody starts estimating that it's time or about time to do something, might just take a little fuse to blow up Cardano, right? But what if that little fuse doesn't happen? I'm going to go with it is going to be surprising us again, just like expected, but it's not going to be as surprising as previous movements. I believe that Cardano, if it doesn't do something measured this cycle, we might be seeing the decline, or at least a little, I don't know, less impressive movements on Cardano that we've been seeing on the previous cycles. Nonetheless, this cycle, I believe, because everybody is expecting it, it's going to be the same one as before, or very close to it.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Guys, don't forget today, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Trading Warz. If you guys want to see OC and TradeFly, go over there, cheer one. Invite the entire alumni to go flood in and let them know that we are there. So go support the team. But remember, OC and TradeFly, they are enemies. They are frenemies now because of this competition. So also Trade Intuition. I'll see what I can do. I'll talk to Keeper and see if we can get you onto the next season. I have a long running history with that show, so we'll see what we can do for you, bro. Guys, that wraps us up today. TradeFly OC, real fast. You got anything for the people? We're about 1 minute over right now. So
Keep it quick, man. I know that my community members are going to be sweaty, baby. So I am excited for this. I am excited, man. I got Trade Intuition, FD White, LBC, Jay. Man, I think Trading Crypto. I got all kinds of people on my team. OC, you're sleeping over there, bro. We're coming at you. Let's go.
Absolutely. So guys, thank you so much for joining today. Excuse me for being late. Everything's just not working, but remember that if you click that like button, maybe today the eclipse will make that little hair grow just a tiny bit more. So don't believe me, try it out yourself. And once again, thank you for being here. Trying it back to you, Piper.
awesome. Appreciate it, guys. Hey, join us back here tomorrow morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, bringing you guys the news, the charts, and the markets, and everything you need to have knowledge, because on Piper Academy, knowledge is profit. Guys, we'll check you out tomorrow. Go check out my boys today on Trade Warz. Till then, trade safe. And as always, use a stop loss.
We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling after wheels flow low. I know you hungry for knowledge, that's profit appetite. Classes in session, this for the Army Piper acolytes. TradeFly, get the soul train ready. What a line from OCI, from a Mexican spaghetti. Yo, crunch crypto with a deep dive to reject dime. And if you like the visual powered by Car Prime, then you were part of that alumni, that's all spine. But if you have step, fall back to offline. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling after wheels flow low. Sound off to get with them, the ZTS rhythm. Rip it, Alexandra.
Yeah, that's my alumni, you know what I mean?
That was awesome, dude!